Mikel, a real sucker punch to lose the game with near enough the last kick of it. How do you sum up the match we've just seen out there?
Yeah, in the manner that it happened at the end, obviously, really difficult to take. In the first half we had moments. Obviously, had the best chance after, I think it's a foul on Ricky that Watkins goes through. After that, we started to control the game and had some good situations. You are always on the edge, especially when you don't manage the ball well when you regain it, and we didn't do that very well in the first half. And in the second half, we started really well, scored the goal. We were very dominant. But then we had periods that, again, the same issue appeared, and then we couldn't have the dominance, and we allowed certain open spaces. We gave 2 balls away ourselves to the opponent that could have cost us the game before actually the goal. And then the last kick of the game, we had the chance with Declan, puts the ball across for Noni and Victor. We don't score. Goal kick long, second ball, clear the ball, individual action, a lot of chaos inside the box, and you end up losing it. So it is painful.
In the second half particularly, it seemed quite difficult for either side to get any sustained control. Why do you think that was?
Well, I think it's the manner that we play, the quality that's on the pitch. Somebody beats his own man, and a duel, the space is open. And they are really good at that. Credit to them for what they do. They are a really good side. And we had our moments to go and score the second goal. We were very, very close in a few times. And at the end, I said, after 18 games unbeaten, which is a long run, you need to lift up and go again.
Do you see this as a missed opportunity, especially with playing first this weekend, where you could have gone 8 points clear? It's now 3 points to Villa in second.
Yes, but every week is going to be like this. I mean, we are 18 games unbeaten, and you're still the margin so small. So this is what we have to do. We have to focus on ourselves and certain standards that today, particularly individually, we didn't raise that level, and the effort was absolutely there. And use that pain to go again. That's football.
How do you ensure then that this defeat today doesn't derail any good momentum you've built up, particularly mentally in that dressing room?
Well, because the consistency levels that we showed with everything that happened to us has been incredible, so I have no arguments to think otherwise.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
You have to remember, this is Arsenal's first defeat in 97 days here.
Yeah, you know, and what was interesting was not losing for 18 games, and it's still, the margins are really short, really small, but like, again, you're listening to a manager who knows exactly where he is, what the team's capable of, what they should be doing, what can happen if you don't do certain things right. And he was right, they were individually, they've done some good stuff to continue to create against us. And that's what's going to happen for the rest of the season. That's why to win these games, to get the cushion, is because you're going to come up against teams that are going to be tough to beat like that. And you go away, you might get a point, but then you might lose, and then the cushion helps you to build your confidence so you can get those points back next week. But what you don't want to get into, Steve, is losing those games and then losing another one, not winning at home, and then all of a sudden people catch you up, go past you, and then you'll feel the pressure of not being able to finish this off. But he sounds really good. He sounds very, very, focused.
This is the psychological side as well.
And so he should be, really, because they've been on a fantastic run. They've conceded in the last minute of the game here, and that'll hurt, definitely, on the way down back to London again, and over the weekend it'll hurt. And it doesn't really matter. I don't think for 1 minute he'll be thinking of what might have been. Oh, well, listen, if we could have won today, we'd have gone 8 points clear, at least for 10 minutes or whatever the case may be. So no, I don't think any of those thoughts are going through his head. It's just been beaten today. Yep. But you start again. But they've built up in that unbeaten run. They built up a great spirit. They built up a strength, a will not to get beaten in matches. And that'll stand them in great stead over the course of the season. The truth is this year, I think that we all think here at this minute, any team who finished this particular season in front of Arsenal probably going to win the league.
Okay. Reaction on the way, but we're still trying to digest it here, really. I mean, it was incredible drama from Villa there.
Wasn't it just, I was just trying to think about what the two managers were going through at that stage. I believe that if the minute that Arsenal got off the bus, if you had said to Arteta, I'll take this draw here today, they'd taken it all day long and just got back down to London again. And for Emery then thinking a couple of chances, one that's gone across the box about 15 minutes earlier, and thinking, well, that's it now. Then there's a scramble in the penalty box, and you're looking around and you're thinking, you wonder who's going to get the touch to it, and your man gets it and Buendía puts it in the net. It's extraordinary, and an extraordinary feeling that they will have going into the dressing room now.
I think as well, Martin, you have to look at the the substitutions he made. Marlon coming on offensive, Buendía coming on offensive. So I think that maybe should have been the signal to Arsenal is like, right, let's shut up shop now because they're.
What you're saying is here, the game management wasn't quite right for Arsenal.
No, not when we got into like 80. I think once you get into 85 minutes, you start getting past that. Martin will know more. Obviously, being a manager, knows what he wants to take in that moment. I think that Arsenal go in there. Let's face it, Villa with the chances they had, they could have won the game with the chances they had. I think you then say, right, let's take what we've got now and get back to London, Mark.
I have the utmost regard for you, Red, but here's my point. I think some players have to take responsibility. You mentioned Madueke should have run it into the corner.
Yeah.
These are the type of things. The manager would be encouraging him to do exactly that. Yeah. So, you're talking about the man management or the game management time, then sometimes it's not down just to the manager. He would have been shouting those, although Madueke wouldn't have been able to have heard him, but he would have been shouting, take it to the corner.
So your point is players on the pitch at that point should take responsibility.
I think you know this. These are not young players anymore. You should know this. You know the last 5 minutes of a match is going to be very tight. You'll know what the manager's thinking. He will have taken the draw. Now, it's great to be offensive and it's great to be thinking that you can score in the last minute. And if you did get it, let's say Madueke had broken through and then suddenly something opened up for him, he scored a goal. There'd be nobody back in the dressing room saying, oh, we were going for that. I remember one particular incident at Nottingham Forest in a European Cup game when a lad called Colin Barrett made this big run against Liverpool. We're 1-0 up and the management team are desperate for him to stay put. He keeps running and they're shouting at him to get back. He scores the goal and it's, oh, fantastic. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the game can change, but absolutely, definitely that Arsenal would have taken the draw there with 5 minutes to go.
Yes.
Is it too simple to say if you've won the league and been there before that you do that, you feel it, you smell it?
But you could say that now when you lose a game like that at that stage of the game, you could say, it's because they haven't done that. But I have to agree with Martin. Naturally, as a forward, if we're getting into that stage of the game when they're putting pressure on, they've just put two forwards on, two offensive, then you naturally know, Steve, that I'm going to start running into corner flags now. Because like a point at Villa in this stage is good. And I think a lot more people will lose points at Villa Park. Of course. It would have been a good one to take.
Away from home, against the side who are right up alongside you. And this is a very, very important stage of the season. Now, every game, I suppose, is, but now coming into Christmas. And the last thing you want to do is just surrender that great record that you've had in the circumstance that you've had. Had Villa scored 15 minutes earlier and you then are desperate to try and get an equaliser yourself, you'd fine, absolutely, change all sorts of plans. But when you're holding on to something then at the end of the day, and you've had a little bit of luck about 10 minutes earlier, take that luck and just run it into the corner.
Could Arsenal have done anything more with the goal? I mean, they put 2 or 3 tremendous blocks in the build-up, didn't they?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I thought it was brilliant defending. I was hoping that someone would clear it, but the way it was going, the way Buendía, you could just see where Buendía is. He just stays in and around it. He has a shot there. Yeah. You know what I mean? He passes it there, but then he gets up and he's just staying involved, waiting for something scratched. But then that's the composure. Yeah. He's waiting for something, and the composure is to not just slash it. He's placed it in past the goalkeeper. Great save from the goalie, great block from Timber there, great block from them again there. But then you can see he's just waiting. He's just waiting, Buendía, on the edge of things, like what's it called, flankers, to get the ball and throw it out again. He's just, and that's a good finish. Yeah. And I'll give Villa that. You know what I mean? Because they kept going. They've done well. Yeah,
I don't think that Arsenal could have done much more in that penalty box. They've got bodies behind it. They've tried to block it off, and the ball's just flukily come out again. That's the point. But overall, it's the minutes leading up to that that were the concern for them.
And Villa's character to keep going.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's the manager. We've praised him all day long. And so he might as well take the credit for it.
He's got to get credit for that, Steve, because he's brought 2 forwards on at the depth there. You know what I mean? Now Villa, 3 points behind. They'll feel confident. They started the season pretty poorly after, everything that happened to them last season, missing out on Champions League, not being able to sign players and starting the season so badly. Now they've got themselves in a position where they're 3 points behind the leaders who everybody's talking about as, who's going to catch Arsenal? Now they're 3 points behind them, so they will be full of confidence in that. And then this is a good test for us again because we've got to, at some stage, take the baton of we're going to try and finish this off. You're going to get games like that, and you have to try and finish them off, Steve. You have to take something from it. You can't lose games.
So Villa are 3 points behind in December. So, I mean, the question is, I guess, in this crazy old season, are they in the title race?
Of course
they are.
Yeah.
They can win the title.
They can win the title. A number of teams can win the title. Will they win it? It might be a totally different thing. And it will depend, really, on their major players staying fit. I think that's the big thing. Now, also, like Arsenal, like Manchester City, I suppose they're in European football. That does take it out of you, depending on what sort of mentality you have, what sort of feeling you have towards the Europa League, for instance, that Aston Villa could win. They are capable of winning it. There's no question about it, because I feel, particularly in the Europa League, that the English teams are pretty strong. But what now that you've put yourself into a position of trying to win the league, I think if you were asking the little manager, I think he would think, well, yeah, I think if you give me the Premier League title, I can think about Europe in another 5 years,
And Martin Keown has joined us as well. Disappointing for you, Martin, but where did that rank as part of games that you've seen this season?
Well, look, it's difficult for me as I've got a foot in both camps, but I'm an Arsenal man, so you wanted to see that. But if it was the spoils were shared, then that'd have been a nice day out. But credit to Buendía coming off the bench. He's played a lot recently. He'd have been really disappointed, and he found the finish. And as Arsenal were queuing up to clear it, there were Villa players queuing up to put it in the back of the net, and it was kind of like an amazing finish to this game, and not an easy one when you've got so much of you in the game. I'll be honest, I'm just talking professionally to Ali about when he does Rangers, when I do Arsenal. You love the club, and obviously Villa as well. So you're happy for the Villa fans in the end, but that's a sickening way for Arsenal to lose this epic game. And this is what the Premier League gives us now.
They just didn't give up though, Villa,
no, he stuck with it, Buendía. You see, even when he goes on, he keeps it alive, which first and foremost, but then he gets up quickly, gets to his feet quickly, then composes himself, and in a pressure moment just comes up with the goods. Brilliant finish.
He's been absolutely vital for them as well this season, Ali. It's been quite a resurgence from him.
Oh, brilliant. If I could just comment on the finish as well, lads, and I didn't recognise it until I saw it there. He lifts it, because there's two defenders coming in, and if he just hits it, there's every chance they'll block. So he actually lifts it, which is the right thing to do, and it goes into the roof of the net. Yeah, great. I mean, both substitutes scoring when they come on. Lindsay, I just thought it was a brilliant game of football. Watch.
You can have another look,
watch this,
Ali.
watch. There. See?
Over the two legs.
He lifts it over the two legs, which is brilliant, because if he just hits it, Lindsay, it gets blocked. So he's got the awareness when all that madness is going on around him, just to lift it. Excellent.
Loved his perseverance as well.
Yeah, like I say, kept it alive. He had the first shot, he didn't get his head down, and he kept it alive. He was on the floor, he got himself back up, then to compose yourself and finish in the manner he did was brilliant.
It's not good for Martin, but is it good for the Premier League, that result?
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want them running away with it. We've pulled them back in now. Listen, we want a race as tight and as long as possible, I think. So it was a good result for football.
It was a brilliant game, honest to goodness. I genuinely thought Villa probably just deserved to be ahead at half-time. I did. And then I thought Arsenal came out second half and were excellent. I mean, we've got to look at that goal as well. It's a brilliant goal. I think it's Rice, the Villa part, wins it. Odegaard's pass is perfect, but the touch that Saka takes from outside his left foot's magnificent. They're back in at one each. And then I thought Arsenal were dominant. I thought they might go on and win the game. But to be fair, Villa come back into it, and I thought towards the end of the game, Villa were the team that were looking more likely to score.
There was so many high-quality chances, Martin, weren't there, throughout? Good saves as well.
Well, in that first half, Ollie Watkins had a couple of really good opportunities, and Raya was magnificent and up to the task. And it seemed that Calafiori going into the midfield didn't really help Eze on the wing, where you wanted Eze in a central position, and maybe the overlap should have come down the line. So you looked at that and thought, okay, it's not really set up. The manager obviously looked at it, made wholesale changes at the half-time, and I thought Arsenal then started to control it, but they credit Villa, to be fair. They got back into it. And then, the Villa fans will feel they deserve that. I've just been given all sorts of abuse, by the way, by the Villa fans that came through. But
I bet you took it well, Martin.
It doesn't mean Arsenal can't win the league.
Martin, there's nothing worse than getting ignored.
You're not wrong.
It doesn't mean they can't win the league, of course, but how damaging is it mentally, do you think?
Well, this is where you got to recover. It's Wolves in the Premier League next. They play Bruges on Wednesday. They're top of the league in the Champions League, top of the Premier League. So as you dust yourself off, it's how you react to adversity, and they'll see this as a major blow. This is a difficult place to come to. It's a fortress. They've lost one game here this season, one last season, so we know how difficult that is. It can happen. There's been a succession of away games back to back, difficult fixtures, and they nearly got through it. So look, I thought today you just could see a little bit Gabriel, Saliba, you missed them a little bit in some of these duels. The physicality from set pieces, it's, normally they score from a corner. So look, I think they'll welcome people back, but you have to applaud some of the jobs that some of these guys have had to do when they've hardly really featured for Arsenal, certainly in the central defence position.
Will it make doubts creep in, though?
I don't think so. I think there's plenty of teams who will come to Villa Park and come unstuck. It doesn't matter who you are. I think, this Arsenal side have been the best team in the league this season. They've come here and they've got beat by the last kick of the game. It was no disgrace. I thought they were in the game at times. They created chances. When they get the two centre-halves back fit, I still think they're the team to beat.
Do you know what it is, Lindsay? It's a disappointment. It's nothing more than that. You're in the game. It's not. They've had a good period. Great victory in the North London derby. Terrific second-half performance against Bayern Munich. A point away at Chelsea. I don't think point away at Chelsea a disaster, and obviously the win home game against Brentford. That's a sore one, right? It's nothing more than that. We're looking for things that I don't think are there. I mean, it's a tough league. There's teams capable of beating everybody in it, and it's a disappointment for Arsenal. Nothing more.
Well, let's have a look at how Arsenal equalised. You already spoke about Declan Rice winning that ball back, but Mikel Arteta at that point would have been delighted that his subs had the desired effect.
Well, they did. I mean, I think it's a wonderful goal. I really, really do. There's the pass to Odegaard. And the timing of this pass and the touch, this wee touch there, that's a beautiful touch from Saka with the outside of his left foot that just creates that little yard of space you can get to the byline, cut it across.
Just allows Saka, doesn't it, just to travel, another pace forward, and he just gets the space. Look, that little delay, he's in, and then it's into. Once it's in that area there, it could go anywhere. And then there's that man Trossard, who really from the bench is remarkable. The statistics that he's got since he's been at the football club is an immense signing for Arsenal. Although I believe he's picked up that calf injury again, so it was to no avail in the end.
Yeah, another blow because he's missed the last two and has actually got more goals as a sub since he joined Arsenal than anyone else. He's always so reliable for them.
Yeah, he is. He's been a great signing, fantastic signing. He's coming to the side, and whenever he's called upon, he seems to come up.
How do you think he will use this to drive them forward? The disappointment.
I think firstly he's being balanced, isn't he? Into his view after the game, he recognises there's been a few, I suppose, rookie mistakes, but then it's a bit of a patchwork defence. Timber's playing central defender, he's the right back. Normally Calafiori is probably the only recognised player playing in his position. So mistakes made, but you go away, you think about it, you've got a long journey back now, a long evening, and you use it as oxygen when you come back. And there's been a lot of hurt over the years, and this is maybe just a blip on the road. I don't think this is going to derail what they're trying to achieve. It's important to get people back again, of course, to form that base at the back of that defence. Gabriel, Saliba, you can't get them back quick enough, but they will come back. Wolves coming up next. You just have to look to the next game to put it right. But they're still learning. It's still a very fresh, new partnership at the middle. You can't expect it to be perfect, but it's disappointing. I think the manager saying they didn't win the duels. The ball bounces down, they can't clear it, and then it's in the back of the net.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're doing a deep dive today on that really dramatic 2-1 loss for Arsenal against Aston Villa.
Yeah, a huge one.
And it wasn't just about the 3 points, was it? This was the thing that brutally snapped their 18-game unbeaten run.
It was a total sucker punch. I mean, we're talking about a 97-day streak without a loss, just gone.
And it happened on basically the last kick of the game?
Pretty much. Villa went ahead first, Cash in the 36th minute.
Right.
Then Trossard gets the equalizer for Arsenal early in the second half.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, a draw, they'll take it.
And then Buendía with that absolute stunner deep in stoppage time.
Yeah, just a stunning finish. And you could really see the psychological impact in Arteta's reaction afterwards.
He called it really difficult to take, which is an understatement, I think. But he immediately pivoted to talking about standards.
He did. He said the team effort was absolutely there, but that individually certain standards just weren't raised in those final minutes.
Which is fascinating. He seems intent on using that pain, as he put it, as oxygen.
Exactly. He's banking on the consistency they've built to get them through this, to not let one bad moment derail everything.
And speaking of reliability, that brings us to Leandro Trossard.
What a player.
The sources are calling him a remarkable signing. And I mean, the numbers really back that up. He got the equalizer here.
And get this, since he joined Arsenal, he's scored more goals as a substitute than anyone else. That tells you he's a guy who delivers under pressure.
But the pressure in those final minutes, it leads to this big debate that came out of the game.
Right. Was this a failure of game management from the team, or was it a failure of individual responsibility?
Okay, so let's break that down. What does game management actually mean here?
Well, the argument is that from about the 85th minute on, Arsenal should have just, shut up shop.
Take a draw and go home.
Exactly. Stop attacking, run the ball into the corners, slow the game down, control the tempo. But they didn't.
And the counter-argument is that this isn't just on the manager's tactics.
No, not at all. The analysts were pointing to specific players, like Madu, saying an experienced player in that situation has to know to take the ball to the corner.
To waste time.
To waste time. It's a tactic the manager encourages, so it's on the player to execute it in the heat of the moment. And in that chaos, they lost control.
And in that chaos, individual skill made the difference for Villa.
It really did. I mean, Arsenal made 2 or 3 brilliant last-ditch blocks in that final sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But Buendia's composure was just incredible. He didn't slash at the ball. He lifted it over 2 defenders' legs to score. Just so calm.
And that one moment of composure has massive implications for the league, doesn't it?
Oh, huge. Villa are now just 3 points behind Arsenal. This win makes them feel like, they're genuine title contenders.
As long as they keep their main players fit.
That's the key. And for Arsenal, this is a real test of adversity. It's a major blow for sure.
The sources also really emphasized how much they miss certain players.
Yeah, Gabriel Saliba especially. Without him, their defensive duel success rate just plummets, and that's something Villa really exploited.
But the analysts still seem to think Arsenal are the team to beat once they get those key guys back.
They do. That long, unbeaten run built up a great spirit, a belief that they couldn't be beaten. Now that spirit is really being tested.
So I guess that's the thought we want to leave you with. Arteta says he'll use the pain as oxygen.
So is this that one heartbreaking loss that actually galvanizes them? The lesson they needed to push for the title?
Or is it the moment where maybe for the first time, a little bit of doubt starts to creep in?
I think their next match against Wolves is going to tell us everything we need to know. That'll be the true measure.